When you hear the music, you know what's going on. It's another edition of Skip Happens, and of course, I'm Skip Clark, your host of Skip Happens, and Deb Lamphere is not with us here tonight, president and founder of the Country Music Fan Club. She happens to be in Florida taking care of some business for us today, but I'm on my own. And I like this because I like these guys already. It's pretty cool. They are with a group called Three Gun Whiskey, and I have Jed Mackey and Jake McNamara from the band kind of hanging out back there. I'm going to bring this music down here a little bit. You may hear me kind of echoing back a little bit, but we're going to get by with it. We're going to be okay. It's just he's going to be so sick of hearing me by the end of the night. It's going to be crazy. But hey, Jed, how you doing? Hey, Jake.
Pretty good, Skip. How you doing? Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. Tell us a little bit about where are you right now, first of all? Describe yourself.
We're in our practice studio right now. It's in a industrial building in a little town called Monticello, Illinois. We got a friend and a fan that runs an overhead door company. He had a big room for us, and we've been renting it for a bit. We got a pretty decent little practice studio set up in here, and so we call it Three Gun Whiskey HQ, and it's just kind of where we come hang out and jam and get ready for whatever we're getting ready for, you know?
I got you. Tell us a little bit about you, first of all, Jed. You're the head guy of the band, correct?
Yeah, I play rhythm guitar and do vocals. I been playing guitar forever. Last band I was in, believe it or not, was in high school. And spent most of my 20s overseas with the military, and got out, came back, and started working around here, and met some musicians, and decided we're going to start something, and here we are.
Yeah, you talked about the military. What branch were you?
I was Army.
Army, and how many years?
Did 12 total.
God bless you, man. Thank you for your service, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. It was a job. I miss it every day.
I bet you do. Did you actually service in the Middle East?
Yeah, I did multiple combat deployments over in the Middle East. So
when you talk about the Army, I know we're going to talk about it in a second, but what you actually did?
Come again, Skip. I didn't hear you there.
I'm sorry. What did you actually do in the Army?
I had a couple different jobs. I was infantryman primarily. And then I ran what's called a tactical human team for a couple different groups, and we chased bad guys and caught them. So,
good job.
Put it simply.
And again, thank you for doing what you did. We do appreciate that. Wouldn't be able to do the podcast if it wasn't for people like you that give it all and go out there and keep us free. It's cool. Now let's talk about,
like I said, it's a job I miss every day.
Yep. Well, again, thank you. Let's talk about Three Gun Whiskey a little bit. Now, you said the last band you were in was in high school, but now, of course, you went to. Of course, you went in the service. I don't know if you can see the little comments on the side, but my son just chimed in. Let's be upstairs. It kind of caught my attention. And who is my favorite dad? Well, this is good. When mom's not here, my son will play. So anyways, let's talk about Three Gun Whiskey. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about the guys in the band. How would you describe your band right now, Three Gun Whiskey?
We're a hard-hitting country band, country southern rock band. We really picking a genre, I think, doesn't do anybody any favors because as you know, being in radio and being around music, you say country music and then you get into like 20 different subgenres. And we have a very difficult time fitting into one. I can tell you there's bands doing similar stuff to us right now. A band called Them Dirty Roses. There's forgot the name, a couple other bands, but we're the Steel Woods is another real good one. I think good hard southern rock sound. But we're just kind of mixing country root, blue collar music, and playing guitars as hard as we can. That's
I get it. And before we went out with the microphones and the cameras and all that, I said it's kind of like outlaw country. But then you kind of explained when we think about outlaw country, we're thinking about whaling and people from back in the day, and really that was outlaw country. But you still have a little bit
Yeah,
of that flavor though. But you've added the
yeah.
guitar.
I spoke about it before. Growing up being influenced by music. My parents were rockers. It was the albums I was listening to AC/DC,
Oh wow.
Ted Nugent, all that stuff. And then I'd go stay with my grandpa, and we were listening to all the old country. My first concert ever was Ricky Skaggs.
Oh wow.
My second concert was Metallica. So if that kind of breaches or shows you kind of the vast influences that I had, it was a little bit of everything. And the one thing I liked about both things were the guitars, like enjoying the harder guitar riffs.
Mm-hmm.
And even those old Waylon songs, there is, even though it might not be turned up and distorted, there's a hook. There's a hard guitar hook it's not computer generated. It's an old boy standing up there beating on a Les Paul or beating on a Telecaster, hammering out a hard lick that makes you want to listen to the song. And I think that's something we kind of focus on is I like guitar licks. I like having, our Dave Ackman, our lead guitar player, he's not here. Dude is phenomenal, to put it in a low category. And that's what, him and I like doing, is we like playing, guitar licks that are catchy and make you want to hear the song, whether you're dancing or just kind of tapping your feet or, drinking, whatever you want to do. I like having the guitar riffs in there.
I love it. And I love that whole idea of what you're doing. You ever do play maybe some of that outlaw country, but then put your own style to it with the guitars and stuff, kind of kick it up a notch?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it has an outlaw base. I think it's an outlaw. It's a harder outlaw. If we can make up a outlaw rock genre, maybe we can make our own genre, and our outlaw country rock, or so we can make up something of our own and just that's kind of what we did with the blue. We got shirts that say blue collar country.
Yeah, I like
that. And that, honest to God, got time for a quick story. That wasn't a big brain trust, sit down and whiteboard it. I literally was at the t-shirt place, and the guy was like, well, what do you want to put on it? He's like, just the name. You have another banner on the logo. We have a logo that has a girl on it. I don't know if you've seen it. He's like, you need something on this banner.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, how about country music or something? I said, how about just blue collar country? I literally spit it out. And that kind of has become the genre we like to say we are, is we're blue collar music. Whether you're digging ditches or working in the, salt mines or wherever you're going, I think you're going to like what we're putting out.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you that here again before you went out the air. What I've heard from you, and I was online, watching your videos, and listening to your music, it would be the type of music that if I was cruising down the highway in my truck, the windows are going to be down, the music's going to be great. It's just rock. It's like it's rock, but it's country and it's loud and it just makes me want to go fast. I love it.
Perfect. Perfect.
I thought you like that. Tell me a little bit about Jake. Jake, you're sitting right there. You haven't said a word yet. What do you do in the band?
I'm the drummer.
Awesome. So you're the one.
Playing the skins.
Yep. You're like the background of everything, man. If you're looking for the drummer, I'm just saying, you got to have the beat.
The heartbeat right there.
Yep, I'm the newest member of the group.
All right. How long you been?
Jake joined us about
Since December,
okay,
I believe.
Oh wow, you are new.
I've only probably played 6 or 7 shows with these guys so far.
Cool. And who do
we had another drummer who had some family commitments, and we were on a search for the drummer, and Jake and I linked up, and he came and agreed to do kind of sit in and practice to see how kind of things are going, and he'd heard our original stuff. I'd send him some stuff via email to listen to and check out. And not that we got a bromance going on or nothing like that, but the second he started playing, it fit what we were talking about the genre, about that drive of our music, his drumming immediately fit into it. And not only that, pushed us a little bit.
Awesome.
So it's,
And I loved what I heard, what they did on the original so far, before I came into the picture.
Cool.
You know,
Very cool, man. Jake,
I love their tones. I love the background, the backing vocals they've laid down. It's great.
that's awesome. Who did you play with before?
me
Jake.
or Jake. Oh, sorry.
Who have I played with before? Man, I've been, I'm gonna turn 26 in June. I've been playing in bars since I was 14. So I mean, I've played with my decent, amount of bands around Central Illinois here. Anywhere from rock to country. If we want to stay in the country category, I've played. I was the original drummer of Third Shift. I don't know if you've heard of them. I played with the Nazi band for a while. But I just kind of go where the music takes me,
Yeah,
And,
I know. I got you.
These guys got my name somehow. And
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's a pretty good match. Tell me about
Definitely. It was a seamless.
No,
So we got a little bit of a delay, Skip. So I apologize if I'm stepping on you.
no, it's okay. I was going to ask about your songwriting. Are you writing all of your own music?
Yes, sir. We're like the stuff on our EP we put out. We kind of have. I don't know if anybody has a set songwriting way they do things, but we kind of developed a process that is not as organized as some, but yeah, I've written all the vocals, of course with help. Dave Ackman, our lead player, is not here. Just kind of put it down in brass tacks. How we typically do it is he'll give me a melody or something, a guitar, I'll write a guitar riff and he'll kind of build a melody behind it, and then I'll just sit and start. I'm one of those guys that has the notes in my phone. I'll think of a line or I'll hear something and I'll type it down on my phone real quick. And, there's my favorite song on our EP, Come to Me. I wrote in 5 minutes sitting in the back seat of a pickup truck,
Wow.
While someone was driving. And that I think that's my favorite song, lyrically. The other ones have taken, sitting down and coming to them and going back. But typically what I do is I get a basic lyric format down, and then Dave and I will sit down and kind of pick through it, and I'll sing it for him or he'll sing it, and we'll just kind of change a word here, change a word there. And we pretty much lock it down in a pretty quick manner. I don't overthink it. If I like it and it sounds good, I'm one of those guys. I think usually your first or second try is usually better than something you spend 400 tries on, because you forget how good what you originally came up with by trying to polish it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we haven't bought any songs from anybody. We don't have big writers groups and have somebody come bring a song. Every word that is on our EP and our other originals, we put down on a paper, sitting in my basement or sitting in the shed or in a truck, and did it that way.
Is your whole set when you guys are out and about is Three Gut Whiskey? It's all originals. Do you do any covers at all or anything like that?
We do covers based on what we're booking right now. The bigger acts that we've opened for, and to where we can go play an hour set of originals, that those aren't right now. There's not many acts that are big that are hiring bands with good followings to open for them right now. There's a couple guys that are just starting to get on the road. So sadly, before the virus hit, we were doing a lot of that. We're doing a lot of hour sets with mostly originals, throwing in maybe 1-2 covers, shorter sets, because we open for somebody. You can get up there and play for 30 minutes, and we could fill that. But we've just to be able to play, because I don't mind playing bars still. We'll go play we'll play a 4-hour bar set, and so we play a lot of covers while we're doing. I mean, I don't think anybody like Kiss and AC/DC or Metallica has 4 or 5 hours of original material. So we're not quite there yet. But yeah, we play a lot of cover songs, and our covers range from everywhere. You know, the typical bar songs everybody shouts for to we do Culture Wall, Steel Woods,
Oh, wow.
Whitey Morgan, Metallica. Who else? Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton. You know, a good variety of stuff. But I if you've listened to our EP and then you heard one of our cover songs, you know it was us because of the way we play it. You know, I mean, we a good example was a Culture Wall song, sleeping on the blacktop. That song was written, and he plays it with a kick drum and his old Gibson guitar, and we're throwing huge leads into it.
Wow.
And you know, big drums, and you know, there's been a few bars where the guys have come up and are like, dude, I can't believe you played Culture Wall like that. You know, I mean, we even our originals, or I'm sorry, even our covers, I think we do the damnedest to make them sound like us.
Yeah, you make it your own.
You got to.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got the EP that's out there. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, we released it about a month ago now. That's a collection of songs we put together kind of over the whole virus type thing, or through the virus, and some of the stuff we worked on before. 2 of the songs we had recorded previously, and they weren't really the feel of, like, if you look us up on Spotify or iTunes, you'll see, I think, Dusty Roads and Battered in Blue. Those 2 songs, there'll be singles out there, and you listen to them side by side. The same relatively same guitar riffs, same relative, you know, all the vocals or the words are the same, but we really kind of cranked it up a little bit, and that was based on us kind of coming into our own. Because as we wrote, I think our rock influences and everything we're doing started sounding more like us. And then we went back and listened to those recordings, and we're like, man, that doesn't sound like where we're going. So we went in and re-recorded them. And that was, so the EP is, you know, it's 5 songs. We've got a couple more originals in the work right now, because we're going to put together a full album soon. But we wanted to get something out, to sell, and to get hopefully get a little more national attention through, you know, the Spotify and the iTunes. And it's kind of, you know, the internet's made the world smaller, so it's you got to get that stuff out there to make people hear you. You know, I was chatting with a guy today in Brazil, which, you know, it was just random. But like I said, the internet made the world small. We want to put something out.
The internet can be good, and it can be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, with social media and all that. But if you do it right, I mean, that's how we got in contact with each other. And I'm so happy to have you on here, because it's something a little bit different. In 3 Gun Whiskey, you're doing this on your own. You're pushing your own product. You've got you want more people to know about you, but you're doing the right thing by, you know, getting on a podcast. I mean, getting on social media, connecting with fans via Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or whatever it is that the guys in the band use. Just constantly going will increase your visibility, and more people will get to know you. And I also want to ask, so the EP is out there. Where can they get that? If we got somebody watching this right now and they want to maybe buy the EP, can they do that?
Yes, sir. We have, like I said, you can get it on, just search 3 Gun Whiskey on iTunes or Apple Music, whatever they're calling it now, Spotify, Amazon, all the major streaming platforms we're on. We also have CDs. If you go to our Facebook or our Instagram is 3GW Country. It's in our profile. There's a link to our online store, and hit the Shop Now button on our Facebook. And we do have, we bought a lot of CDs, and we actually sat in here one night and laid them out all on these tables, and all the lot we have right now is what we have, but every single one of them are autographed, and we're selling those for the people that still like the CDs. But yeah, in any of the streaming platforms, YouTube, and I'm happy with how it's. Of course, we could always want it to do better, but we're getting some coverage and getting some people listening to it. It's people like you said, I think are hearing the groove of it and hearing kind of the drive, and it's working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you had any radio contact at all? Anybody have played any of the music on air?
We some stuff out of Missouri
Mhm.
down in we did a radio show. I did that one was like last week, the week before last. Did a radio show out of the Ozarks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago down there in Missouri. We only, radio stations. I know you work in radio. I haven't had much luck reaching out to them because a lot of them seem to have preset programming, and it doesn't seem. You heard stories of these guys walking CDs or walking tapes in the radio stations, like, "Hey, I'm going to play over here next week or whatever. Can you play my song a few times?" My experience, that doesn't happen anymore.
You're right.
But without a big label behind us, and then again back to the genre thing. I mean, I got a lot of buddies that are musicians playing the newer pop country type stuff, and that's their jam, and I respect that. But we don't fit in that vibe.
Right.
We also don't, a hard rock station, they might look at us like we're too country, so we've kind of niched ourselves to where we might not fit on the streamlined radio. And I'm fine with that as long as, we got a way to get our product out there and people are listening. Hopefully one day you can turn on your FM and hear us, but
yeah,
right now it's, I don't think we fit enough.
It gives that much more of the outlaw vibe.
Yeah, right. More the outlaw vibe.
Yeah,
I don't think we fit the formatting for a lot of the major radio stations around.
yeah, and it's okay to have your own niche. It's okay to be like that. I mean, you're doing the right thing. You're thinking correctly, in my opinion. It is tough to get to the radio now, but I'm thinking of a group like Blackberry Smoke. They were kind of what you do. And they were played actually on the rock station here in town, but they still had that country vibe kind of in the background. And you would find them on stage maybe with background, or they were doing different things with some of those artists, different type of artists.
Yeah, but I got a lot of respect for Blackberry Smoke. We played a couple of their songs though. Yeah, and yep. Those guys definitely. They work the grind too. I mean, I haven't got a chance to meet them, but we read up on them and watched a lot of stuff. Yeah. Those guys grinded for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, Charlie is a phenomenal guitar player, awesome vocalist, and great writer. And yeah, they did the grind. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind that, but they put some stuff out and people liked them. They are another. When I was having a brain fart thinking other bands. Right. They're one that I think that if we opened up for them, it would be a good show because we would fit. It wouldn't, we
perfect.
There's people doing what we're doing right now. We're not super unique, but we are different enough to where there's not a whole lot. We don't sound just like every third song you hear on the radio,
Right. No, and I totally get that, and I understand what you're saying. I think Blackberry Smoke, they were signed on Zach Brown's label Southern Ground, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if they still are or not. But that's what I saw, that they were on stage with Zach Brown. So that was kind of cool.
I think you're correct. That and the other label kind of True Grit is another label that's kind of picking guys up and that aren't necessarily primary radio targeted guys.
Right.
I sent him an email. Maybe if you know one of them, you can tell me to email me back. But
I'll do my best, Jed.
Right?
I'll do my best. Oh man, you know how that goes. Nowadays, it's tough to get any answers with anything. But let's talk about the pandemic a little bit. So the setting, we're a year into this, and how did that affect what you guys do?
I'll let Jake start because I know he was gigging really regularly and then it hit.
All right.
So,
I mean, the last couple of shows before everything shut down, like I said before, one of the last groups I was with before I joined these guys, one of the last shows, there were signs up everywhere that said no dancing allowed at the shows, you know, and I just don't see like how that's even like a thing, you know. It still kind of blows my mind. I'm there to get the people up and dancing, you know, and if they can't do that, I can't do my job really, you know. It's very stressful. And then that was one of the last shows that before everything kind of shut down, you know, and we're just luckily they're starting to pick back up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very grateful for that.
Excuse me. Sorry for the audio. I had to sneeze.
That's all right. I have a son that's blowing snot rockets, so it's not big. Not the gross.
Got the allergies going.
With the allergies here in the Northeast and the temperatures changing and everything's changing, it's, you know, allergies.
Yes,
But
as far as the band goes with the pandemic, you know, we had a great 2019. I think we played 12 or more states,
oh well,
maybe 13. We played shows with Jackson Taylor and Sinners, played shows with Dave Allen Coe. We played shows with Dallas Moore. I mean, we're getting that vision we have. Jake and I were just talking about it before he came on with you. You know, we have a vision of where we have a 1, 2 to 5 year plan, you know, and we were creeping it fast before the pandemic hit. Then it hit and everything just, you know, for everybody, we're not unique. It went to a screeching halt. I kind of was of the mentality, like, there's no way this is going to last more than a few weeks. Right. So we never stopped practicing. We never, you know, we were still going at it because my thought on it was when this stuff opens up, we're going to be the guys that are ready to play yesterday. You know, there's a lot of bands that were like, oh, we'll start practicing again when things start opening up. And that's, you know, that's their deal. That I, you know, can't fault them for it. But I think the whole pandemic, we missed 2 practices, you know, because I wanted to keep, you know, as a group, we wanted to keep driving. It just kept dragging on and on and on. Now, where we're at in Illinois, I don't know how much of it, what's going on in New York, but, you know, we still stayed closed down. But towards the beginning of the year, we started having some venues that were like, you know what, write me a ticket. We're going to have some people.
Right.
So we were doing shows earlier this year. Was like, I was scared to put stuff out on the internet because I didn't want to get I didn't want to try to promote a show and get the bar owner in trouble. So it was almost like, you know, put something out. Hey, we're playing in 2 hours. Get down here, and then like getting rid of it, you know. But we were lucky enough to have some venues that were like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start bringing people in here. If they don't feel safe, stay at home. If you're sick, stay at home. But we're going to, not try to close down. So that got us kind of rolling. And now we're starting to book into August. You know, I think things are really looking up around here, and it's, you know, we've had to turn down a couple of gigs, which this time last year we'd have played them for free, you know, just to go play. And that's one thing that, you know, we want to do is like, I know Jake and I are similar on this. Like, I love to play, so I guess I'm going to still practice because it's you know, I look forward to it on Thursday nights, our normal practice night. Like, I look forward to it. I don't walk into practice like I wake up bummed that, you know, it's not practice time. And I like playing in front of people. So the money's not necessarily there yet. And I've talked to a lot of the venue owners that we've booked right now. And I'm very understanding that they've been closed down for a year. You know, we're not going to say we won't show up unless you pay us this. Right. You know, I always tell them this is what we typically book for, but due to what's been going on, I know you've been closed. We're willing to work with you, but let's get some people out to your place. And the response you get from that is huge because they want to work with somebody that's willing to work with them. You know. Right. And it's luckily it keeps going up like it has, and my guess is once they start opening the bigger venues and the big guys start rolling out again, you know, because luckily, well, however you want to look at it, we're not in a situation where we're waiting for them to open up, you know, an auditorium or a huge 50,000 pack venue because, like you said, we're doing it ourselves. So I'm not paying. You know, we're lucky enough we didn't get to the point before the pandemic where I'm paying a social person, I'm paying a photographer every show, I'm paying, you know, a lot of these bigger guys, they're feeding 50 people off of what they're playing for their hour and a half show.
Right.
But we've kept it small enough to where, luckily, we're paying the 4 of us, so we can take a hit on our thing. But then, we got a kind of an oddball type thing. Jake and I are going down next week or the week after, and a venue that we've played a couple times. We've cut them huge breaks on playing and packed the place for them. We're going down. We're being guest bartenders.
Oh wow!
At the bar, and they told us we could sell merch, and they told us that all the tips go to the band. And the only reason why they're doing that is because we've cut them such breaks and helped them out so much as they've, so we're going to go sling drinks, which we've never done before.
No idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. I joked with somebody, I said, I'm just going to give everybody beer or whiskey. I don't care what they ask for. They're either getting beer or whiskey.
As long as there's a tap, you're good to go.
Yeah, right. But we're going to go and the band's going to be making money that night because we were good to somebody.
Right.
A few months ago when things weren't, and
exactly.
It's a small business, man. Yeah, it's a small business, and people like working with good people, no matter what you're doing. So,
no, it's a good way of thinking, Jed, Jake. I love that. You're giving to get, and it'll do nothing but help you in the long run. And I know here in Central New York, we are starting to open up more and more. But the talk is some of the bigger venues and some of the bigger tours, they're holding off to either the end of the summer or early fall. And I know some of the tours are pushing back, big tours are pushing back to 2022. And I think that's because they need to have a certain number of people to cover the cost of the tour. You're not going to bring in a Kenny Chesney and only have 2,500 people there. It's not going to work. You're not going to be able to, unless they do it for free. It's not going to work. So I think that's a big part of it.
That too, and one of the big things that we were doing that we're not doing now is, a lot of we were getting retained. So if we're booking a date for you in July, I'm going to ask for something because a weekend in July is a money making weekend for us.
Absolutely.
So for us to hold that date for you, we got to get paid. And I couldn't. Hopefully one day I got to worry about it. I couldn't imagine what the retainer is on if you own Madison Square Garden and you want me to play. I couldn't imagine what you got to pay me to make sure I keep that date open for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So and if you can't guarantee money, it's a business. Just more zeros, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're moving in the right direction, and we can get groups like Free Gun Whiskey out there and get you on the big stage. And I'd love to see you open up for some of these artists. And because, like you said, I listened to the music before we went on tonight, and actually listened to it the other night since we've been emailing back and forth and stuff. And I said, wow, this is cool. This is good stuff. And I could see myself going to a show and having you guys be the opening act. And then who knows, maybe down the road, you won't be the opening act. You'll be the main act.
Hopefully. We and I'd love to have a show near you where you can come see us. Because I think our recording is excellent. I think production was great on it. We put a lot of work into it. But I don't think it holds a candle to the way we play live. I really don't. And I don't. I've seen bands before where I've loved their CD. I love their songs.
Right.
I've watched them live, and I've been like, man, where's the fire? What's what's going on? And we are the polar opposite. We get up there, and if I joke, if we were playing the ABCs, I'm going to play it as absolutely hard as I can. The best version of the ABCs you've ever heard, or the best I can give you, and I want you to dance to it and sing along. So, we're I know it's kind of a cliche-ish thing, but we're a live band. Like
that's what
I think we throw down every time we play. And I want people to come see us because I think they love it because I love playing.
Jake, how many drumsticks do you break?
How many do I break?
Each show.
I'd say at least one a show.
Well, that means
he drums. I'm not picking on you. He does what's it called, the traditional.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So he holds a stick funny, right? Like he holds it different.
Okay.
Because I was used to getting the cues off the big arm swings from a drummer, and he's got the drumstick like he flicks it. I'm not a drummer, so I know I'm not using the right terminology. But he gets so much power out of his drum set, but his arms aren't moving a whole hell of a lot. And I'm used to seeing the big crash, and it's different. It's
I
fun.
played in jazz band in school and like marching band and stuff, so it just comes from that kind of style of playing too, you know.
That's cool.
The
No,
speed he gets out of it's good.
but I notice when the drummer breaks a stick, that's usually means he's doing his job.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
For the most part, as long as it breaks in a good way, you know what I mean? So
You probably jinxed us.
Usually send somebody home with a souvenir
Yeah.
at that point.
oh my God, I got a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a point where we were going through guitar. Dave and I were, I think there was one show we played where we'd gone through both of our spare guitars and had someone grab one out of the trailer because we kept breaking strings on them. And we switched gauge strings, kind of changed up some stuff. But like I said, we get after it, and it's we have a good time.
Sounds it.
Our bass player's not here either. Brandon Hayes, on he's a big guy. He's got that big booming low voice, and we all just enjoy it. I think it's when you watch a band, you can tell when the guys are having fun. I think it's obvious when you watch.
I can see it from the videos.
Yeah,
I can see it from the videos. So that's cool. Now with this whole pandemic, do you guys get like other gigs? Do you have like a side hustle at all, or something else that you do for a living?
I currently have a day job. I work for the Department of Transportation.
Oh, cool.
So I'm what's called a highway. I'm the guy that drives a plow truck in the wintertime.
Dude,
So,
I can tell you something. I did that.
Yeah.
I worked for a local municipality many years ago, and I didn't know if I wanted to stay in radio or not. So I got out of it for a little bit, worked for a local municipality. I drove this big ass plow, and I had a wingman, and I mean, it was like you see me get out of it. I'm a little guy, but I tell you, that's what I did. And here in upstate New York, we get the Lake effect snow, and we get called in 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we just go in for stops. And a lot of memories, though. A lot of memories. Crazy.
Yeah, it makes booking gigs hard in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But we do have a pretty good schedule where I know one weekend I'm working, the next weekend I'm not.
Oh,
so
you're
we can still. It makes traveling harder. But we luckily we can make stuff happen. So,
but I know when I worked for the local municipality here, that was a great job because we were union. We had a great retirement in the state of New York. I don't know how it is in Illinois, but here in the state of New York, we had a great retirement. I was able to collect a little bit off of that. Not that I stayed with it. I went back in radio, but still I had so many years and I was able to, when I turned 55, a little bit older than that now, I started to collect it. So
yeah, I'm a Teamster, so I'm, with the union. So we get
sweet,
we get a good salary, good benefits. And, I got a wonderful wife and 2 kids.
Awesome, man.
So, having benefits for that and everything is a must. So, we haven't quite had the conversation yet on how much money I have to make with this hobby before I can quit. but I just know for a fact that I'm not there yet.
No, it might be a little while. Anyways, you've got a good thing going. What about you, Jake? You got another gig, or do you do something on the side?
Not right now. COVID. I was working at Planet Fitness in Springfield, and it shut the building down. I believe it was about a year ago in March. So about a year ago now. And I've been just kind of skating by, I ended up buying a little 27-passenger shuttle bus in November, trying to renovate that up. Ended up kind of had to move back in with my folks, just to kind of save up some money while I fixed it up. But, that's kind of when I met these guys. So glad it happened and
totally
worked out the way it did,
Totally. Well, you're gonna be
the pandemic did help us get Jake, if there's a bright spot of it, because he was gigging his ass off before the pandemic, and when I reached out to him, everything was shut down, and I'm like, dude, we're gonna play, like we're gonna practice and we're gonna play. So being the guy that we got another guy, Brandon Taylor, that helps us with the booking, and I do a lot of it, but there is an obligation to me. You know, I feel obligated to keep these guys working. That's one reason why we pound it so hard is because I want to keep these guys working.
Absolutely. Plus, y'all love what you do. So, you know, that's what it's about. It's in your heart, and you're putting out some great music. What do you guys travel? Do you have like a van or?
We roll. I got a pickup. We got a pickup truck and a trailer.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I got one of those Dodges with the real big back seats in it.
Yep.
So I'm 6'4", so if I can sit in the back seat of a truck, it's a good truck.
Gotcha.
And, so yeah, we just take turns driving, trailer everything, and stay in hotels. We sell merch. We do pretty good with our merch, and that's kind of how we got it divided business wise. Is our merch sales go to the fuel and hotel, and gas and everything else we make pays the boys.
Yeah, you know, I noticed, Jed, that you're all like Facebook and those other avenues, but I don't see a website.
We don't have one yet because I don't know how to make one, and until we start throwing some gig money at it. Yeah, it's one of those things when we're not making money playing, some things got to fall short. We had a guy line up to build one, and I'd like to get that going, but I looked at it like I use social media when I look at bands. I use that. So if something had to give, that was what gave for us. And it's I want to have one. We need one. But like I said, when the shows weren't coming, something had to give, and paying a web designer and getting that stuff going was what gave. So we'll get one up and going here soon this summer, probably.
Yeah, but you can accomplish the same thing with the other avenues of social media, especially what you're.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Yep, and it's more personal, I think, than the website. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah.
As long as they can buy your merch and they can listen to your music and they can download your music, buy it if they want. As long as you have those avenues open. And we do things like this to get your name out there. I think you're going to be fine. So
we're hoping so.
Yeah. No, you guys are pretty awesome. We've been talking to Jed Mackey and Jake McNamara from 3 Gun Whiskey. And I love the name. Where did that name come from?
I came up with it without getting too far into it. When you're assaulting a target, or there's competitions called 3 gun competitions, right? I don't know if you've seen the shooting competitions where you start off with a long gun, transition to a pistol and a shotgun. That's based on an assault on a fixed target in the military, to where you use the weapon that's most effective for what you're doing at the time. And I that concept of using the best thing for you at the time, I like that idea. And then I drink a little bit of whiskey, so when I wrote it down, it rang, and I liked it, so that's kind of what we stuck with.
I love it.
So,
I love it. And 3 Gun Whiskey, make sure you check them out online. You said Spotify, iTunes, book, and look for 3 Gun Whiskey. They're there. These guys are talented, and these guys need to get their name out there a little bit more, and they continue to do what they love. They worked hard to get through the pandemic, and they're finally getting again a little bit. And I want my viewers, my listeners, to check you guys out. And I know there's is guitarist here in Central New York. He plays with a lot of different bands. The guy's one of the best I've seen. And I saw he wrote on there, "Hey man, this is my kind of act," because I know he would definitely fit right in. He is all about it. One of the best I've ever seen. But we're going to sign off here in a second. But after I sign off, just hang on a minute. But I want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Jed, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, you hit it there, Skip. Thank everybody for watching. And then hit up our social medias. It's it's 3 Gun Whiskey at Facebook. Our Instagram is 3GW Country. Search us on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, everything. give us a listen. And if you, I think I heard you right, you got a buddy that plays guitar that was piping up there.
Yes.
Have him check out the lead on the song "All In." That it's I think the 4th track on our CD there. That lead, when Dave was playing that in the studio, I literally was just sitting there like I didn't know if I should be recording it on my phone or if I should just watch. And he hit that lead last night in practice. We played that song 3 times. He hit that lead every time. So if the boy's a guitar player, tell him to listen to that. He'll dig that lead on that song.
Yeah, Sean Freed. I see he's on there, so probably just heard what you said, and I'm sure you will check it out. He's that type. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having us, Skip. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, both of you are great. Wish you a lot of luck. And hopefully, our paths will cross somewhere, and I'm able to come out and see you guys.
Absolutely, bud.
So,
All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And
Thanks for having us. Nice